What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Run It Up podcast. I'm your host, Najee Adams, and you know I got my guy with me today, Jalaal Sandy. How you doing, bro?
It's been a hell of a week. Huh?
What happened this week?
Just a lot going on. I've been running around, and then I'll be falling asleep mad early, and fucking up my sleep schedule. So I was up late last night because I fell asleep for like 4 hours. I was up watching Ironheart for like 3 hours.
You did tell me to lock in. You told me to lock in.
Oh no, the first 3 episodes are cool. To set the last 3 because it's only 6, 5. Like I wasn't expecting the little twist they had at the very, very end. I was like, oh shit, that might actually affect Avengers. No cap, bro.
All right, man. I haven't been spoiled, which I'm shocked at. I haven't been spoiled.
I'm shocked, bro. Because as soon as I finished watching, I went on YouTube. It was like, boom. I was like, damn.
Bro, the only reason why is because my timeline is just all Lakers shit. Like, had this come out 2 weeks ago, then I would have got spoiled. But now my timeline is just consumed with Lakers free agency trade shit. So that's probably why I haven't. But I'm excited to watch it. Once Love Island ends, I can really lock in. But Love Island is just a task to watch. Like, comes out every single day except for Wednesday. And it's like hour and 15-minute episodes. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Nuts. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. While you're struggling through that, Big Brother comes back next week. So I'll be watching that.
I think Love Island
3 times a week.
I think Big Brother comes on what? Thursday, Sunday.
Next one. It comes on next Sunday, Wednesday, Monday? Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Yeah. Something like that. So I'm gonna lock in. I always lock. Like I used to watch Big Brother seasons from start to finish, feeds all. Like I used to watch the feeds up till 5 a.m, and like now I just can't. Like I'll start and then like I'll just fall off midway through. So I hope the people they got is good, like good contestants. Because I don't
even remember last season.
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember them. Big Brother Dead used to be my favorite show, and now it's just kind of fell off for me. But I always give the beginning a chance.
Yeah.
What's
going on with you, brother?
I'm chilling. We haven't recorded. Well, we did record. This is technically the 101st episode, but you guys are seeing this as the 100th episode because we recorded last week a whole like hour and 30 minutes gone. It is the fucking lost files. We talked about the KD trade. We talked about the main trade. We talked about like 35 minutes worth of NFL stuff. We reacted. We gave draft winners and losers from day one. We reacted to the Lakers trading up twice to get Adu Theoro, and all of it gone. It's absolutely
crazy.
Gone.
I went on a rant about how people don't really love basketball like they say they do. All of that just gone. Just gone. One day it'll be released as the lost files.
Gone. Oh my God, I'm pissed. But so I'm using my song of the week from that episode to be in this episode since technically you guys didn't hear it. But it's been a chill week, bro. Tomorrow's 4th of July. Christy's school is over, so she's out in Shirley for pretty much the rest of the summer. So I'm gonna be back and forth between here and there. And we chilling for the most part. I'm not going to the beach tomorrow. They're going to the beach tomorrow. I have work tomorrow.
Same.
Yeah. People be mind blown when you tell them you got to work on a holiday. Like, everyone can't be a fucking can't have a normal job, okay? But yeah, we're chilling. But before we get today, honestly, is going to be a pretty chill episode. We're just going to talk through pretty much everything NBA offseason, free agency, trades, extensions, re-signings, rumors, kind of all of that stuff. And then if we have time at the end, there was one pretty big NFL trade that we'll kind of talk through if we don't think we're rambling at that point. But before we get into it, we should go through. Make sure you guys subscribe to Run It Up Podcast everywhere that podcasts are found. Find us on Apple Pod, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Find us on Twitter at Run It Up Pod. I'm on Twitter at @NajEadams_, Jalaal at JSandy45. On TikTok is at the Run It Up Podcast. And before we get into stuff, got to do song of the week. I think I went first last week and no one heard it, so I'm going first again. My song of the week. It is a throwback A Boogie song. It is called Friend Zone. It is a great song. If you haven't listened to old A Boogie, I really encourage you to go listen to 2016, 2015 A Boogie, because it's some of his best shit. So that's my song of the week, Friend Zone, A Boogie. What you got, bro?
Damn, I blanked. My song of the week. I'm gonna give two because I always feel like I have a new song. I'm like, damn, people need to hear this. So my song from last week was basically to like commemorate the 100th episode. I'm like, this would be nice. The song is called "Run It Up," and it's by, is that Sheff G song?
I think it is
Sheff G featuring also A Boogie and Sleepy Hallow. Really, really good song. One of my favorite songs by him. And then my song for bonus episode, song called "My Own" by Reason, former TDE member, featuring, I guess this is boy named Junie.
I never heard of
I didn't even know he had dropped an album, and I just was listening to it. I was like, I like this one. I only added like 3-4 songs.
Album come out. Oh, did you listen to the Carter 5 or no?
My brother, you mean 6?
6, yeah, my bad. Did you listen to the Carter
brother, 6? I couldn't get past like track 7. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to Peanuts and the Elephant.
Yeah, I got to the Elephant joint and I was out of there.
Cause that song is pretty far into the album. Like I didn't even get that far.
Out of there. The intro, not the actual intro where they're singing like the Carter, not that. Like the intro song, the second it's track. Not bad. Yeah, like it's a good. Fuck with it.
It's solid. I didn't add it though.
No, I didn't add it either. But I was like,
but a lot of people are dropping next week. Clips is dropping next week. They released their track list. They got, I don't remember everybody that I saw, but they got a Nas feature. They got Kendrick, obviously. Everybody knows that. Stove God, I don't know if you know who Stove God is, but he's like West Side Guns Man's. Can't remember who else I saw, but there's like 5 or 6 features on there.
I think Young Boy drops tonight too.
Yeah, don't care. Burna Boy dropping next week. Roddy Ricch on his last leg dropping next week. I believe Giveon is also dropping next week. So it's like a hot little month for music.
Yeah, it's like summertime. Everybody trying to get their summer tracks off, you know. So I respect it. But yeah, we just go ahead and dive into some NBA news that's been happening around the association. There's no real like organization to this. I'm gonna just name topics and we're just gonna talk through it. So there's been a lot of, as a Lakers fan, I guess we can start here. There's been a lot of like swirling rumors about whether or not Bron wants to be on the Lakers, whether or not he's going to request a trade, or maybe we'd buy him out, wave and stretch, whatever the fuck people are saying. It all I can't even remember who it originated from. Maybe Shams said that like, oh, LeBron doesn't want to be on a team where they're building for the future because obviously his window is now. And so he's worried that the Lakers will build around Luka for the future and not prioritize trying to win now. And I mean, I think that's a fair thing for him to say. I don't think that that's what we're doing, because I think Luka's window is also now. It's not like Luka's 21. Like Luka's 26. By the end of next year, he'll be 27. So like it's time to fucking kick it into gear. So I think that everyone is trying to win in this situation. I just can't see him going anywhere. People are like, oh, the Cavs. The Cavs are over the second apron. So they'd have to do all kind of cap magic to get LeBron on their team to begin with.
They'd have to trade half their starting lineup together.
That's what I'm saying. And you can't aggregate salaries to get Bron. And Bron makes $50 million, and no one on the Cavs outside of Donovan Mitchell. I don't even know if Donovan Mitchell makes $50 million.
I don't think Donovan Mitchell makes $50 million.
So like, there's no way to get there. Yeah, like there's no way to get there without doing a whole bunch of extra shit. The Warriors have basically like 7 players on their roster. Like that's not happening. What other teams was people saying? The Thunder are not trading for LeBron. The Heat are not trading for LeBron. Like there's just not a lot of teams that are going for Bron. The Mavs, okay, maybe the Mavs trade for Bron, but like at that point, what are you giving us? You're not giving us Coop. We're not giving us Kyrie. You know, like what are you giving us? We're not just giving you LeBron.
AD swap.
Yeah, like what? It doesn't make any sense. So, and I highly doubt we're buying him out. I think LeBron is going to end his career on the fucking Lakers, or unless he does like sign a 10-day contract to retire technically with the Cavs, some shit like that. But I think like his playing career will end on the Lakers. But I was curious what you thought about it because maybe I'm biased.
I had a few like what if scenarios. Like I don't think it's gonna happen, but you always have to consider whether he might retire. That's always in the
trade air. Notification hits as we're talking about.
Imagine, bro. Yeah, let me pick up my phone just in case. But I feel like there's a slight possibility that he could retire. I don't think he will because I feel like he wants to try to have a real chance at winning another championship before he retires. My main thought on it though is LeBron could have opted out and said, hey, I don't want to necessarily play here. Like y'all seem like y'all have another vision that doesn't include me. That's cool. If we could find a sign and trade for any team, like, you know, when Houston had cap space, maybe before they signed KD or traded for KD, maybe trying to see if you go to Houston or maybe seeing if you get to San Antonio or get to Milwaukee, maybe like go play with Giannis, you know. But now all of that is out the window because he opted in and now the Lakers are crippled. And I know the Lakers don't want to go over the tax. So because then you got to pay extra. The Warriors been doing it for like 10 years and they're now $111 million over the tax. So they're constantly paying tax, but everybody's owner is not Joe Lacob. So, I mean, it's, I don't know. I've always said like LeBron wants to have the best of both worlds. He wants to be one of the highest paid players in the league and also have a realistic chance at winning a championship. It's kind of reminds me of how Aaron Rodgers was sounding before he left Green Bay. Like, yeah. It doesn't matter about the money. Like, I want to win. Bringing this guy, if we can just get this talent and get they can't because you're taking up $50 million and you're 40 years old. It just doesn't work like that anymore. And the days of you having 3 superstars, 2 superstars, even 2 sometimes is over. Like you got to have one guy and a bunch of supporting or guys that just aren't getting paid worth their value. Like Chris Paul is 40 years old. He's not asking for 20 mil because he knows like, hey, I'm 40 years old. And I'm barely 6 feet. I'm just coming in to contribute. And granted, they're not the same level of player, but I feel like LeBron could easily say, you know what? Let me get 40 instead of 50. Let me get 45 instead of 50. Now he's like, I want the whole 50, and I want the possibility of y'all trade. Like nobody's trading for LeBron James. Hate to break it to you. He is not an attractive candidate for a trade because there's no team that's like that's one piece away and willing to risk half their roster to go get 41-year-old LeBron James.
No, I just don't think that he's never been on a franchise where that franchise is not on his timeline. Every team he's ever been on, 1, he's been the best player on, and 2, that franchise has been building that team around him and his skill set and his timeline. And that's just not the case anymore. Like that's just not the case. And I think that that's fine. If you want to win a title now, we should also be trying to win a title now. But like, I don't think LeBron can be the best player on a team that's going to win the title. And so if you want to, I think you have to, if I'm him, I want to attach myself to one of the top 5 players in the league. And hey, you fucking got one. Like, I don't know what else you want from us. You got one of the 5 best players in the world. You're not going to the Thunder. The Nuggets could probably trade for him, but like, you're not going to the Nuggets. You're not winning a title with the Bucks. Luka's the 4th best player in the world, and then after that, you're not winning with the Celtics. Tatum's dead. Like, this is your best chance. So I don't know what you want.
Then I don't think realistically the Nuggets would never do it. They just sent out $38 million and Michael Porter by himself, and they got back Cam Johnson, who makes like 20 mil, and then the rest of the guys they signed, like Tim Hardaway, Bruce Brown, trading for Valanciunas, like the rest of Cam Johnson plus all of that makes up like 37. Yeah, so that's kind of how you have to build your team now. It's not about just like giving everybody a max contract, giving people max extensions. That doesn't always work out.
It's about winning on the margins, bro. Like, it's about winning.
Like, you have to flesh out your roster completely.
Yes, like making the Caruso trade, like that kind of shit. Like, Josh Giddey, good player for us. We don't see how he fits in our vision. Alex Caruso might be a worse overall player, but he is the right fit for what we need. Therefore, we're going to trade for him.
Getting Isaiah Hartenstein. Or like the Pacers trading 2 seconds or 1 second for Obi Toppin and him thriving in that role.
Yes,
but also, I think a lot of teams are so used to, in the past, clearing cap space for the big free agent summer. Those days are over. Oh my God, that's not happening, bro. Half the teams that are now like prominent organizations that are top of their conference all built their team through the draft. Like, a lot of the teams now that are older, kind of like in between picking a direction, the Miami Heat, they don't have, not only do they not have assets that are attractive, they also don't have draft assets because you've been trading away your 1st round picks, 2nd round picks for older players, or like just to keep kicking the can down the road. And at a certain point, the can is getting crushed, my brother. Like, there's only so much kicking that can be done. So like, I look at not even the Pacers, like I look at the Celtics. Half of the players, well, not half of them, half of the players that were involved in their moves, they drafted. Like, they drafted Tatum and Brown, obviously, but they drafted Marcus Smart. They drafted who else was on their team before they traded him? I don't know. Whoever they traded. Oh, Robert Williams. They drafted Robert Williams. It's like all these guys that were involved in the moves that they made to make a championship, they drafted them. You can't just be like, please come here, or please take our trade. We're trying to fleece you. Please. Take our measly crumbs and coins.
And our 2nd round picks.
And our 2032 1st round pick for a starting player, a starting rotation player. Yes, please.
Yeah, and the thing that pissed me off, there was a report that came out that like, oh, the Lakers are prioritizing their cap space for the 2027 summer, so they will have a max salary slot to sign Luka Doncic's co-star. I'm like, brother, that is 2 summers from now. Luka will be 29 and like
28, 29, yeah.
Yeah, 28, 29. LeBron will probably be fucking retired, and we're in 2027. I will say the free agency class is pretty insane right now. Before it is Steph Curry set to be a free agent, he'll be 39. Giannis set to be a free agent. Who knows if he's going to hit the market? Anthony Davis free agent. Jimmy Butler will be 37 free agent. Jokic 32 free agent. Cat 31 free agent. Donovan Mitchell 30 free agent. Zach LaVine, Luka technically, Trae Young, James Harden, Brandon Ingram, Kyrie Irving, Tyler Hero, a bunch of guys will be free agents. The thing is, half of these players are signing extensions and not hitting the market in 2020,
or they're retiring. I could completely, because James Harden just signed a 2-year extension. I could completely see James Harden retiring in 2 years from now. I can see Steph Curry retiring in 2027, KD retiring in 2027, LeBron being already gone by 2027.
The Mavericks traded Luka for Anthony Davis. Do we think they're not going to fucking sign him to a max extension? Like,
Anthony Davis?
Yes.
Oh, Jokic, yeah, most likely
is the Nuggets' best player. He's getting an extension before 2027. Like, he will be these players.
Jokic. At that point, he would be the highest paid player in sports most likely.
like
At that point in time.
Fuck?
Like whatever Shea just got,
yeah,
Jokic is gonna get that in 2 years.
Yeah. Like players just don't. It's not like it was where like, oh, Melo's on the market, Braun taking meetings, Kyrie meeting with like that's not how shit worked. No, Dwight Howard in meetings. Like that's not how shit works no more. Yeah, like that's just not how it works, bro. Players are signing. The CBA makes it so that it's more lucrative for players to just stay with their teams. Like that just is what it is. Mm-hmm. When they're offering you 60 million more than any other team can offer you, you're staying with your team. Like,
yep.
So trying to build for 2027 just feels crazy to me. But yeah, I ultimately think LeBron ends up staying. I think you think LeBron ends up staying. The next thing that I want to talk about was one of the more insane stories to come out. Malik Beasley, some type of gambling debt, may or may not have been gambling on NBA player props. A story came out that said he was like mortgaging his current and future NBA contracts to like pay his gambling debts. Like he's just a flat out gambling addict.
Oh yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah, he's a freak. I don't know if he's ever gonna play again. So
the funniest thing to come out of all of this is right when the Malik Beasley news came out, they also cleared Terry Rozier. They were like, yeah, he's good. And to me, all I heard was, yeah, bro, like we thought that Terry Rozier was playing so bad that he was throwing games. Nah, he's just that ass. Like we thought, bro. There's clips of him like throwing 360 passes in the half court, dribbling the ball off his foot, shooting step back air ball. Like you could go to one game. I think they played Cleveland on the road one time. And brother, there's like 13, 14, 15 clips of him just doing the worst possible shit. And it's like, bro, you're playing so bad that they thought you were gambling. You were setting up your games.
That's hilarious to me.
What do they call it? Fixing your game.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, how? And the Malik Beasley thing, I meant to go look at clips, try to find some clips from the 23 because it's during the 23-24 season. So not this past season, season before that. So I think when he was on the Bucks.
Something. The Wolves, I think maybe the 23.
He might have. Yeah, I think he might have been on both.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. It may be all of this time. It's just that's the time that they're investigating. But I mean, who was the guy that got Jonte Porter?
Yeah.
Bro was betting unders on his prop bets
because and then telling the coaches like, my arm. That's crazy. That's crazy. In prison? Bro. I think so. Something happened to him. I just think it's crazy to go out and be like, yo, bro, put 2 bands on my under. And then go out, score like you're over under 6.5. You make that first 4 look fucking legit. You and 1, 3, you missed the second free throw on purpose. And then it's like, coach, I'm cramping.
Bro, there's a documentary on Netflix called Bad Sport. It came out 2021 or 2022. There's the first episode of the documentary. There's like 7 episodes. Is a dude that played college basketball and he was fixing his games. And this is in like the 90s. So he would go out there, bro, and he would tell his bookie like, yo, I'm not scoring 30 tonight. So he'll come out, but then he'll mess himself up because he'll come out hot, score 20 in the first half, and then jeopardize his team losing because now you're playing like shit, and now your team's done. They're like, yo, what's going on, bro? And he's collecting bread, and they losing. And then once they got to the tournament, it was mad sus to the point where they couldn't even hide it anymore. But the whole concept of betting on your games is insane,
bro. Like, where's
the amount of manipulation you have to at least attempt to do throughout a season worth of games, not just one game here, one game there. You're a repeat offender throughout an entire 82 game season.
Like, where's your competitive fire, man? Like, you don't care about them guys in the locker room. You just selling. Like, that's crazy,
bro.
man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was doing that, if I was an athlete and I would just put the over on shit. I know my money.
Yeah,
like if I'm gonna be stupid, I got a hoop. I don't have to be ass. But then I find, damn, I'm really ass at this, bro. Like I really.
But the thing is, you can just bet on other sports. Like Malik Beasley could just bet on football, like bet on baseball. Like what? You just can't bet on your sport. Like that's not that crazy.
Hey, I wouldn't bet on baseball. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What's the dude? Otani's interpreter. That dude was blowing bands, just to lose. He was like millions of dollars in debt. He's like, I gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. Like, brother,
you think it was him? You think it was him and not Otani? You think bro took the fall?
I don't think it was Otani, bro.
You don't? Oh, that's a conspiracy.
I don't think it was Otani.
I didn't look enough into it to know who it was, but yeah. Shout out to Malik Beasley. I would be shocked if he played another game in the NBA. From being honest,
and he was about to get a solid bag.
He's about to get the
bag. Free agent.
Yeah,
because he had a great season last year. He almost won 6th Man of the Year. It's tough timing, stupid decisions, honestly. And the Pistons pivoted pretty quickly, and I thought pretty well. They got themselves a few shooters. Duncan Robinson. They got Karis LeVert, who's a nice scorer off the bench. So I think the Pistons will be fine. Malik Beasley, he might not play next season, and depending on what happens with the investigation, may never play basketball ever again. And he gotta go play overseas.
Yeah,
with DeMarcus Cousins and whoever else.
Lifetime ban. Yeah, he gonna be a streamer. He's starting up that Twitch, boy. He's not playing over.
Stephon Marbury, the Jordan of China. He gonna try to be at least the Kobe.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Malik Beasley situation. Next thing I want to talk about, the Bucks. The Bucks, they've been busy. They made a couple moves. The biggest one, I guess, the most out of nowhere one. They end up waiving and stretching Damian Lillard. They owed him $113 million. It will be stretched over the next 5 seasons. So Damian Lillard is now a free agent, still recovering from a torn Achilles. He will probably not play at all next season. And so we will see who ends up signing him. But they did that in order to sign Myles Turner out of pretty much nowhere. So just talk to me. What was your first thought when you saw the Myles Turner signing and then you saw the Dame thing? Well, what do you think of the Bucks moves? How do you feel?
My opinions changed like over the last 2 days. At first, I was like, oh, that's good that they got from under the Dame situation because he's not playing this or next year, and you don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back. But waiving and stretching,
couldn't even
basically cutting the salary. I mean, nobody wants to trade for a dude that just towards Achilles. And I think Dame is making close to 50 mil anyway. So same reason we said about LeBron, like, can be applied to Dame. Nobody's trading for a 34-year-old point guard who just tore his Achilles. I thought it was good, and then I saw that they figured signing Myles Turner would be like the move to keep Giannis interested. But then I've seen like 4 different reports. I've seen that Giannis encouraged the Myles Turner signing. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Giannis understands how a lot of this works, because I think he said, oh, we can get Myles Turner. Cool, let's do whatever we can do to get Myles Turner. Then found out they cut Dame and was like, wait. No, I want Dame and Myles Turner. Like, I need my Brook replacement. But I think for the Bucks, it was dumb, because you could have just paid the man's salary over the next 2 years. Instead, you cut his salary in half and you're stuck with this deal for the next 5 years. So instead of paying him 40, I think it was 45, 46, something like that, for the next 2 years, you're paying him about $22 million over the next 5 years, and he will never dribble a basketball in a Bucks uniform ever again. And your plea to Giannis was signing Myles Turner, who, not a bad player at all, looked very shaky in the finals. I will say.
Horrible. Like, I just pulled up his finals averages.
Brother, it's
10 points,
terrible.
10.6 points, 1.4 blocks, 4.4 rebounds, 21% from 3, 37% from the field.
And he did that.
Of -10 throughout the series.
He did that and got mad because the Pacers lowballed him. One, they lowballed you because you played like dog shit. Two, they're not going to commit to you because Halliburton's out for the year. There's no point in bringing him back. Like, I could see if Halliburton was playing and like, all right, we got to keep the core together. But this is a gap year for the Pacers. So them not bringing back Myles Turner doesn't surprise me. The Bucks giving him basically more than he was asking for is kind of crazy, but I think they're desperate. They don't have a lot of moves to make. They don't really have cap space. They don't have assets. I think they should trade Giannis, even if they can't get off, like they can't get what they want this year. Before his contract expires, you got to get him out of there because you could get an absolute haul for Giannis. Like we see teams giving up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, 4 for Desmond Bane, 4 for Rudy Gobert. You could probably get 4 plus a really good young star player and maybe a second player who's really, really promising, young, up and coming, and try to build around that. Like, you're still hoping Kyle Kuzma gives you something, and Kyle Kuzma be putting up 0-0 Tony Snell's numbers in 20 minutes. Brother be out there just getting cardio, and I don't understand. I understand, getting rid of Drew. Drew was getting old. They didn't want to pay him that money. I understand getting rid of Chris Middleton because he was barely healthy, but like, I don't know how you rebuild around a guy who's 30 years old and wants to win a championship.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I blame them for waiving and stretching Dame, because at this point, like, if you know it's not going to work, then you might as well try and move on. That's probably in Dame's best interest too. So now he can try and find a place that's going to take him, knowing that he's not going to play next year. I don't know what team is signing him, knowing that he's just going to sit on your bench for a year and like rehab with you. Maybe like a team like the Rockets, maybe like if you think he's going to make this like late season playoff comeback, I think he's still better than Fred VanVleet. So like you take the chance. Yeah. I don't know. And then when he comes back, you have Dame. Yeah. So you get 2 torn Achilles recovering at the same time,
and just bring him and Tatum back at the same time. And now you have your starting point guard for the next 2 years, 3 years, and you still got JB, you still got Tatum. Probably still have Derek White.
Yeah, I could see a team signing him. The Myles Turner thing, I think in theory, like him and Giannis should work. Like good rim protectors. Myles Turner stretches the floor. Giannis is more of a like inside the paint kind of guy. They still don't have a point guard that I can think of. Like they re-signed Kevin Porter Jr., but like I don't know who's running the one for them. So probably I think they still got some moves to. That's nasty. I think they still got some moves to make. But
what moves do they make? Like they did trade for what's his name? I can't pronounce his name. Point guard on the Hornets. They traded Pat Connaughton for him, but they had to attach 2nd-round picks just to get off of Pat Connaughton. So I mean,
I can't pronounce
Misic. Yeah. Like if that's your starting point guard, GG's. He's a great playmaker. He's very creative with his playmaking, his facilitating, but he's not really an offensive threat. So they do need another point guard. Like I could see them potentially like kicking the can down the road and maybe saying, "Hey, Chris Paul, you want to come play with us?" Like he might say no, but it's worth trying. Or like maybe bringing back Malcolm Brogdon or something like that.
Yeah,
I could see that. But you still have Kyle Kuzma on your roster. He has to get off of your roster.
Oh, let's see what they end up doing there. Next thing I want to talk about is the Knicks. The Knicks, they have finally hired a head coach. We've been hearing all these things. Knicks have interest in Russell Westbrook. Knicks have interest in Jordan Clarkson. And I'm like, who is your coach? How do you have interest in these players if you don't have a coach? Like, who is the interest coming from? But they finally ended up signing Mike Brown. He is their new head coach. I think there were mixed opinions on people. People had mixed opinions on the Knicks firing Tibbs. I think there's also mixed opinions on Mike Brown, just because of how the situation with the Kings ended. But I personally don't hate it for them. Like, I think at worst he's the same caliber of coach as Tibbs. I think maybe even a little bit better. Like I'm okay. Yep. I'm not gonna say it's an auto upgrade, but I definitely don't think they got a worse coach. Like I think Mike Brown's a good head coach.
Downgrade. No, it may be a lateral move.
Yeah,
but Mike Brown will use his bench. Yeah. He's not gonna run his starters into the ground. I do want to run through his resume because I feel like people are so clouded by how he left Sacramento and also him coaching LeBron in his early years. So to start off his career, he was an assistant under Greg Popovich for 7 years. Then he gets hired by Cleveland. And I don't know if you remember this, but there was a stretch where Cleveland was the best team in the league they won 60 games in a row, 60 games a year. Oh.
Yeah,
for 2 straight years, 2008, 2009, right? 2009, 2010. Yes, both LeBron MVP seasons. They went to the finals in 2007, but while he was coaching the Cavs, they never won less than 45 games. His first year as the coach on Cleveland, they went to the playoffs. His second year, they go to the finals. Third year, they lose to the eventual NBA champs in the Boston Celtics. And then they win 66 games, 61 games. And then they fire him because obviously LeBron leaves. He's not the coach for a rebuilding roster. He goes to the Lakers. Is giving, honestly, let's be honest, a pretty garbage roster. With Steve, was that the Steve Nash, Dwight Howard year?
I believe so.
Maybe.
I believe
they still won 41 games.
It was the roster. The roster was Matt Barnes, Steve Blake, Kobe, Andrew Bynum, Devin Ebanks, Christian Ibanga, Derek Fisher, Pau Gasol, Andrew Gowlock, Jordan Hill, Jason Capono, Josh McRoberts, Darius Morris, Troy Murphy, Ramon Sessions, Luke Walton, and Ron Artest. And they went 41 and 25 and won the division.
Made the playoffs, won 41 games. So he gets fired from the Lakers the next year because they start off 1-4. And at this point, the Lakers have unrealistic championship aspirations. Cole has a bad year in Cleveland with a dog shit team because they end up getting the first round pick. He goes to Golden State, wins 4 championships as an assistant, then goes to Sacramento and wins 48 games, and they make the playoffs. They, I believe, eventually lose to the Warriors in 7 that year. Or maybe they didn't. I don't remember.
No, they lost to That's the Steph Curry 40-point second
Curry
half.
just went berserk in a game 7. And then the next year, they win 46 games, missed the playoffs. But listen, bro, you're coaching in the West. Like, winning 46 games is no small task in the NBA, especially in the West. Then gets fired mid-season last season. He has 2 Coach of the Year awards. Mm-hmm. And he's, like you said, like I said, a lateral move. I think he's, I don't want to say as good a defensive coach as Tibbs, but that is his staple. Like, he's known for his defensive strategies, his intensity, coaching his intensity on defense. But his first year in Sacramento looked like an offensive powerhouse with De'Aaron Fox running the show, Sabonis being the de facto like big man playmaker, and they had a bunch of shooters. Everybody was defending. They ran up and down the floor. They were a tough team. Like, they almost beat that Warriors team. So I think the Knicks will be a tough team. They signed Jordan Clarkson. They signed Yabusele, who is a nice little piece to bring off the bench. He's a hustle player. He's tough. He improved his jumper a lot. He's a big body, just a real physical player. And then Jordan Clarkson is just honestly like a random domino. Like, you never know what you're going to get from Jordan Clarkson. But at least he might give you some scoring, and he might have a night where he gives you 30. He might have a few nights where he gives you 30 off the bench, or like 25.
And the Knicks bench scoring was horrible. Like, they needed a guy who can get a bucket off the bench. So I think he fills that role for them.
And you still have Miles McBride. You still have, I believe they still have Precious, and they are looking to trade Mitchell Robinson. So if they trade Mitchell Robinson and they get a nice solid piece from that trade, look, their bench is going to look solid. Like, their starters are still going to get the majority of the minutes. But it's much better when everybody's getting 32, 33 and not 40 to 42.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Mike Brown. I honestly, I'll say it. I think Mike Brown is. I'm happy with Mike Brown. I don't know that he's like a way better coach than Tibbs, but I think the argument can be made that he's a better coach than Tibbs. He's been to a finals. He has a positive playoff record. He has a positive regular season record. Tibbs does not have a positive playoff record. He has never been to a finals. They both have 2 Coach of the Year awards. Like, I think Mike Brown is a good little hire for them. Things went sour with the Kings, but like, hey, every coach gets fired eventually, you know? So like
from the Kings specifically.
Yeah. So I think I'm happy with it for the Knicks. Like, I think a lot of Knicks fans are kind of just scared because like they knew what they were with Tibbs and like they were just happy to be good.
What
and
they
now,
were, yeah.
like the unknown of Mike Brown is a little bit scary. But I think once we get 30, 40 games in and you're like, oh shit, he can kind of coach a little bit. They'll be happy, you know?
And the thing is the Knicks might not, a lot of the times teams get better and don't win the same amount of games as they won the previous year. Like, I think the Knicks will be better next year, but they might not win. I think they won 55 games last year or 54 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
They probably won't win 55, 54 games. They might win 50. But I think I did also say to you when the Knicks fired Tibbs, I said, hey, I think it's either Mike Brown or Mike Malone. And I think they went with Mike Brown because Mike Malone, a bit of a hothead sometimes.
Some people wanted Taylor Jenkins.
A lot of people wanted Taylor Jenkins. Some people wanted who was the guy, the assistant on Johnny O'Brien?
Yeah.
Some people wanted him too. So I think Mike Brown was the best choice though. Like, that's who I would have picked if I was I don't remember if I was James Dolan, because he's honestly the one being like, hey, I can't remember their GM's name, but yeah, I'd give it like a B plus, A minus, because it's not much. Like you can't, you're not getting Spoelstra.
They tried, people shit on them, but they tried.
No, they're not getting Spoelstra. They're not getting Steve Kerr. They're not getting Ime. They're not getting what's his name? Joe Mazzulla. Like, they're not getting the best coaches in the league. So you got to find a guy that can just elevate your roster. While I think he doesn't, maybe the floor is the same, I think they might have a higher ceiling with Mike Brown.
Yeah, I'm with you. Next piece of news, Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson, Grizzlies signed him to a 5-year, $240 million maximum contract. One of the highest paid players in the NBA now. I actually don't hate the deal. And I think like I am on the side. Like, I saw people being like $240 million for Jaren Jackson. And it's like,
they do this all the time.
Like, eventually, like, you have to, I don't know, like, what you guys expect. Like, you have to pay your good players. Like, like, that just is what it is. We can go, like, if I'm the Grizzlies, what did you want him to do? Trade him? We're going to trade Jaren Jackson and for some fucking 14-year-olds and try to rebuild. And by that time, John will be 32 and then we'll trade it. Like, let's keep our good players and try and build around them. I think now, like, players that, like, fans of the NBA are just mind blown by these massive numbers, but like, this is what you have to do nowadays. You're mind blowing that your good players get good money. That's what happens. Like, Jaren Jackson's a top 25 player in the NBA, one of the best rim protecting bigs, stretches the floor. Like, he's a good player.
He just don't rebound. That's my only issue with him. I think he is. I think he's earned it. Like, he's been an all defensive player 3 times. He's been an all-star. He's won a defensive player of the year. He's led the league in blocks 2 times. And I think the main issues I had with him and why I was like hesitant, we talked about it maybe a month ago. His health and his consistency offensively, but he's grown as an offensive player. Like, he's averaging 22 points a game around there, and he's shooting really well from 3 for like what they're asking of him, especially a lot of his games being played without Ja. So I think they gave him this extension because he, as unreliable as he can be at times because of his health, he's still the most reliable player they have. Like, you can make the argument that he is their best player just off of value and what you get out of him in an entire season. Like, you don't know how many games Ja is going to play. What, maybe 60? Jaren probably give you 65 to 70, but he's going to give you better defense. He's going to help stretch the floor for whatever guard that you have in there. Now that they have Ty Jerome, I think Ty Jerome is telling that they may not have the most confidence in Ja just being healthy season to season. So if Ty Jerome is out there in your starting lineup, I think you might be okay. Like when they used to have Tyus Jones out there because Ja was hurt. I think that's how they kind of looked at Ty Jerome. So I can't like I was against it because I was in a mode where I'm like, I don't know if you want to pay these guys that ultimately aren't like alphas or aren't superstars, but you can't just let guys walk for nothing. And you can't trade, like everybody doesn't have your asking price. Like you trade Jaren Jackson,
get fair value for Jaren Jackson.
You just traded Desmond Bane for 4 first-round picks. If you trade Jaren Jackson, I assume you're asking for at least 4 plus a good defensive player that can at least fill in for Jaren Jackson. So most teams don't have it.
No.
So if you're the Grizzlies, you have to do this. And I feel like both of us have, like, our teams are also going to be in this position soon. Like, I know Miami's going to be with Tyler Hero. Like, I don't know if they pay him that type of money, but I mean, because it's different when you got a guy that.
I'm giving Luka whatever the fuck he wants. I give him a blank check, whatever, $500 million. I don't care.
Oh yeah, Luka gets blank checks.
Yeah,
for sure. But I like it. I think you pick a direction. You stay somewhat competitive. You still leave the door open for Ja to, I guess, prove himself. Because I feel like there's a lot of doubts around what he can bring to the table over the course of a season, and if he can make it to the playoffs healthy, and also keep his mouth shut throughout the season. So, he always gets himself in trouble talking shit. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, the sad part is Jaren Jackson then went out and got turf toe by hooping in his free time, and he had to get surgery and is out 12 weeks. Now he'll be back for the start of the season, so ultimately probably isn't a big deal. But it was just crazy that he signed this massive extension and then went to go hoop and needed surgery. That's crazy.
I didn't even know he injured it hooping. I thought he already had the injury and was like, by the way,
it was like off-site. He was out of the Grizzlies facility playing basketball.
I viewed him signing the paper and putting that shit down and was like, hey, yo, can I go? Not even that. Like, he didn't know what it was, but it was kind of like, hey, yo, my toe been hurting for a minute. Can I get it checked out real quick? And then they say out 12 weeks, and he's like, that's all right. I'll be back by October anyway. It don't even matter.
Yeah. The last piece of news is that the Suns are potentially buying out Bradley Beal. Now, Bradley Beal still makes a ridiculous amount of money. How much money, you might ask? And he infamously has a no trade clause. So it's very difficult for the Suns to move off of him because he makes $53 million this year. And absurd, next summer, he has a player option for $57 million, which he will undoubtedly accept. So you're on the hook for another $100 million of Bradley Beal for the next 2 years. So it's virtually impossible to trade him. So if you're going to buy him out, you can't even, I saw someone say they can't even straight buy him out of like $100 million deal. You have to like waive and stretch it and do some exotic shit. I don't even know what, but like ultimately the Suns are thinking about just cutting their losses and making Bradley Beal a free agent.
I think if they cut him straight up, don't they get like a penalty towards the cap? So they have to waive and stretch because they're already in the second apron. So I think if they cut him directly, he puts a penalty towards the cap that puts them over the second apron, which nobody really wants. So yeah, waiving and stretching might be the only option.
Bradley Beal has made a lot of money in his career.
Yes, sir.
$318 million career earnings for Bradley Beal. That's why I feel like the Pusha T comp was elite. Come on.
Nah, it wasn't.
It was. Ultimately, I don't know. I think if they buy out Bradley Beal, I personally would like him. Apparently, they said the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Clippers would be interested, I think, and the Heat, I think. I think the Lakers, Celtics, Clippers, Heat were the 4 teams that are interested, which I feel like every player's agent just says those 4 because it's like those
they
are the
always
4.
say the Heat. Yeah, they always say the Heat.
They always say that. It's like Lakers, Knicks, Heat, Clippers, Warriors, Celtics.
Bro, I be sitting there like, why does everybody think that? I mean, I get it. Everybody want to live in Miami. And I do think the Heat somewhat interested in him because they did want him at some point, but they don't want him for $53 million.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why Jimmy didn't go to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because I think he wanted to come to Miami. Miami's like, brother, we're not paying you $50 million.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And they're like, oh, Bradley Beal would let his trade. He would accept the trade to the Lakers. I'm sure he fucking would. Of course he would.
Bro, he'll be 33 years old before the end of the season.
Yeah, bro. And still on the hook for another 57.
For another 57 that you're not declining.
Yeah.
So he's not a free agent until 2027.
Yeah. He's in the same like Jokic, Giannis, that same class.
Jokic, Giannis, Luka. Yeah.
He was them.
But yeah, bro. Shout out Bradley Beal for making his money. I think the Suns do need to. I've been saying they need to get rid of Bradley Beal, however they can. And I think it's good for both parties because Brad can still go to a team where he can contribute. You know, he can still average 18 points a game.
18, yep, I'm with you. 18, I think that's a sweet spot for him.
And in the perfect scenario, he might be able to average 20. Like if he's just given the keys as like a third option where he don't have to do too much and just go out there, get some buckets, be a perimeter threat. He still can shoot the ball really well. His playmaking is good enough. So I think a team like you said, the Clippers, I would like that. That's nice.
I think they're the favorites to. There's not odds, but like I've seen a lot of like he wants to go to the Clippers. Clippers would want him. Blah blah.
He fits their timeline.
Yeah. And he would. I don't know if he would start over Norm Powell. I'm not gonna lie.
I wouldn't start him. I would make him a 6th man, but I think he'd be great as a 6th man.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind him on the Lakers either. I think like a lot of Lakers fans like, no, Bradley Beal, because you have this like you think bad of Bradley Beal because everyone always talks about the contract. Like Bradley Beal's not a bad player. Bradley Beal's just not a $57 million player. But like if I'm comparing him to our 6th man, Gabe Vincent, like he does everything that we asked Gabe Vincent to do better than Gabe Vincent. He's a better playmaker than Gabe Vincent. I would say he's a better defender because Gabe Vincent's like 6'2". Like Bradley Beal, he's just little. He's a better defender than Gabe Vincent. He's a better shooter than Gabe Vincent. Like he's just better. So like I would take him. But he would have to understand that like you're coming here to play off the bench. Which I'm sure you could find a starting spot somewhere. Like the Bucks would probably start him. You know, like you can.
Hey, he didn't want to get traded to the Bucks last year.
That's true.
So I don't think he really want to go there for real. The other thing with him is his health. He hasn't played more than 60 games since 2018-2019 season. So you're not signing a guy that's playing more than 60 games most likely. But maybe, the demand asked of him might help him be a little healthier. Ironically, the 2 seasons where he played all 82 games, he was an all-star both years. The year where he averaged 30 and 31 on the Wizards, just going nuts, he played 57 and 60. So, but he hasn't played 60 since 2021. So it's 40, 50, 53, 53. Yeah. So he's not the healthiest guy in the world. He's older. But if he finds a team that fits his timeline, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's it for the news. Going to the trades, we technically spoke on KD and Bane last week. You guys just didn't hear it, but
no, we did that. That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, was it? Beautiful.
Yeah, so I just put it there because it was part of the overall trades, but we did talk about that.
Beautiful. So you guys know our thoughts there. I feel like one of the first trades of like the right before free agency, Lonzo traded to Cleveland for Isaac Okoro, just a straight 1-for-1 swap, which is kind of crazy. Like I think we've been seeing way more 1-for-1 swaps. Like the Nuggets did it for Jonas and Dario Saric. I love this for the Cavs. Like I think if healthy, right? Like Lonzo hasn't played more than 35 games in a little while.
I was to say, if healthy is
yeah. If healthy the stretch, he's got someone else's knee on him. But like if healthy, I think he could have a Derek White, Alex Caruso impact for the Cavs. And I think that's what you're looking for when all you gave up is Isaac Okoro. Like the risk is worth the reward for me. Like, cool. If Lonzo doesn't play, we don't have Isaac Okoro anymore. I think we can live with that. If Lonzo does play,
but they also don't have Ty Jerome though.
That's true.
So not only are they asking him to fill in Isaac Okoro's production, they're also asking him to be at least half of what Ty Jerome gave him, and that was 6th man of the year last year.
That's 6th man of the year consideration. I maybe I'm just a Lonzo homer. I just think the idea of him has always been better than what he's actually been.
Yes.
But like when he's on the court, he is a productive basketball player. We just got to keep him on the court. Like he can shoot the 3 ball. He's a good defender. He is a great playmaker. Like he checks damn near a great in transition. He checks a lot of boxes for the Cavs, for just basketball teams in general. I just think if he stays healthy, he can be that like we could look back on this in a year if the Cavs do make a finals run and be like, damn, they got Lonzo for Isaac Okoro. You know, like I think that he's that type of guy. But it's just the healthy thing. If he can't stay healthy, then it's a wash. But ultimately, I like it for the Cavs. I think it's worth it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I have no issue with them giving up Isaac Okoro. But I do think it is a risk because Lonzo Ball hasn't played. He's never played more than 63 games in his entire career. So, I mean, his rookie year, he played 52. Second year, he played 47. And then he gets traded to the Pelicans, played the most games he played in his career, 63. 55 the year after that. Gets, I don't know if he got traded to Chicago or signed with Chicago. I can't remember. Played 35 games, was having a great year. And after that, did not play basketball again until 2024. And again, only played 35 games last season. So, and his numbers aren't great. Like his field goal percentage has never been over 42%. He is
actually crazy. That's actually insane.
But he's not like he doesn't really live in the paint. Like most of the shots he's taking are either threes or layups. Like he doesn't really have a floater. He doesn't have like a step back midi.
I'm looking at his shot chart right now.
For him, it's literally like a 3 ball or a layup. And he's not the best finisher either. So like a lot of these layups, he's smoking. But I do think it's what's the chart looking like?
Good God. Okay, so he shoots 55% at the rim, which is 11th percentile. That's horrible. He shoots 39% on middies. The frequency, 8% of his shots come at the rim. 12% of his shots are from midi. 80% of his shots are threes. That's
so
insane.
He doesn't. But the problem is like he's not. He already coming into the league. He wasn't the most athletic guy anyway. So he wasn't beating you off of his quick first step or his off the dribble ability, his creativity. He was literally he was the best pick and roll guard in his class. He was the best facilitator in his class, the best defending guard in his class. I guess coming into the league, he was better than De'Aaron Fox, but I mean, we look at what De'Aaron Fox is now, look at what Lonzo is now. Like you could have seen that coming because De'Aaron is more athletic, more creative, more elusive. Like he's just a better player. Lonzo always had a ceiling to his game. And I think that's just the result of who he is, but also the injuries don't help. So like him already not being athletic and having bad knees and whatever other injuries he's dealing with will cause him to be like, you know what? I'm just come off this screen and shoot a three, or he'll just play off ball. Like he in Chicago, he wasn't on the ball a lot. Granted, don't have that much evidence. He's played 70 games over the last 4 years. So you only have 2 seasons of evidence. When he was, like you said, in transition, he's really good. And in pick and roll, he's really good. I just think if he can be a knockdown shooter for them, I think it'll pay dividends. But like him being trash, I think in this trade specifically wouldn't be a big deal, but him trying to replace Ty Jerome is the bigger issue for me. Like he is essentially your Ty Jerome replacement. Ty Jerome is much better than Lonzo Ball. Like if we're just being honest, regardless of how bad he looked against the Pacers in the second round, he's still a very, very solid point guard, and I think he's more reliable than Lonzo, and more consistent than Lonzo. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because there wasn't a lot of good point guards on the market anyway. And Isaac Okoro has done he's the same exact player he was when he got drafted.
Yeah, I'm looking at he's like a different player from when he came. Like just offensively, like his shot profile is just so different than like in 21-22. He 17% of his shots came at the rim, which was like also not high, but like to go from 17 to 8% is like a massive drop. And then in 2021-22, 66% of his shots have been threes, and now 80. Like he's always like the majority of his shots have always been threes, but like to 80% of your shots being threes is kind of insane. But yeah, I don't know. I hope it works out for him though. I'm always a Lonzo fan, so I do hope it works out for the Cavs. The next trade, Colin Sexton traded to the Hornets for Jusuf Nurkic and a second. What are your thoughts on the Colin Sexton Hornets trade? I think the Jazz needed to get off some guards because they had so many guards. So what do you think?
The Jazz needed to get off of some guards. And honestly, I'm looking at the additions that the Hornets made this offseason. I'm not mad at the kind of culture they're trying to create. Like they're bringing in guys that actually like to play basketball.
Yeah.
Con Canopal from Duke, he's a really good player. I also think Liam McNeely is a solid player that they also drafted in the first round.
Good player.
Kalkbrenner's a good player. Hey, bring in them crackers. They love to play basketball. They are good at basketball. Like they're solid.
They re-signed Trey Mann.
Re-signed Trey Mann. He's a very nice scoring guard. He kind of reminds me of Jordan Clarkson a little bit. He's more. Well, nah. He kind of like Jordan Clarkson. They also trade for Pat Connaughton, a vet shooter, another white man. They bring back Mason Plumlee, who they had for a little bit, and brought him back.
They signed Spencer Dinwiddie. Yeah.
So I mean, bringing in a lot of vets, bringing in guys that know their role already, and I think Colin Sexton he gets a lot of flack because he didn't work out in Cleveland. But honestly, bro, you had 6'1", 6'2" Colin Sexton playing shooting guard. You had 6'1", 6'2" Darius Garland playing point guard. Neither of them played defense, and they both needed the ball in their hands to score. I think Colin Sexton is a really good player. Like he's going to give you about 18 to 20 points, give you about 3 to 4 assists, 3 to 4 rebounds. He's been shooting the ball really well over the last few years. I gotta look at our notes because I forgot who they traded for him.
They traded Jusuf
Nurkic and a second. Jusuf Nurkic is not doing anything on the Hornets.
No. They got Jusuf Nurkic about it. They got Mark Williams about it there.
And the best part about it is Colin Sexton is an expiring contract. So if he doesn't work out, he can just leave. I'm not mad at it at all. I like the vision. Last year he shot 40% from three and 48% from the field on the Utah Jazz. Like this is not. I think the Hornets could be a sleeper playing team. Like if they are able to piece some things together and seriously build a culture, I think they can be a decent team.
I think ultimately I think ultimately, like, you're trying to hedge against a LaMelo injury because, like, we've talked about Lonzo, right? Like, Lonzo doesn't play basketball. LaMelo also doesn't play basketball. He played 75 games once in his 5-year career. He has played more than 50 games once in his 5-year career. Like, that his career games played is twice his rookie year. His career games played is 51, 75. 36, 22. But even in that first year, he only started 31 games. So, like, 36, 22, 47. So, like, LaMelo is your franchise player making an insane amount of money. I don't even know what his contract is, like $240 million, something crazy. And he's not really playing that much basketball. So I think ultimately you're trying to hedge against when LaMelo goes down eventually.
He will go down.
Do we have someone that can start? And I think Colin Sexton can give you good minutes as a starter. I think Spencer Dinwiddie can give you good minutes as a starter if needed. Like, I think Trey Mann can give you some minutes. Like, Trey Mann, Spencer Dinwiddie, LaMelo, Brandon Miller as your guards. Like, I think you should be good. Colin Sexton. Like, I think
Brandon Miller is not a guard.
He's starting at the 2 for them, I'd imagine, or I guess the 3 because Khan will start at the 2. But like that group of players being your guards, I think you're cool with that. I'm happy with that. If I'm the Hornets,
I think they do need a few. They probably need another big or two. But depth wise, they're fine. Another big that they can contribute. But still got Miles Bridges. If you want to get off his contract, you can trade him next season. Grant Williams is coming back from injury. He might be decent when he gets back. Josh Green is not a bad player. He's a really good shooter. They traded Micic for Pat Connaughton, who's also a good shooter. And then they've got guys like Nick Smith. Doesn't really play a lot, but young 21-year-old. And I can never pronounce this dude's name. Tijane Sulan, who they drafted in the first round last year. They have high hopes for. So, we'll see. They are more serious in acquiring talent than they were 3 years ago. I think 3 years ago they were basically asking LaMelo to do something he could not do, which is, I'm not saying he can't be the best player on the team, but kind of be the leader of a team. Like, I don't think he's a vocal leader kind of guy. Like, he's not. I think he played basketball because he's just nice at basketball. Like, he don't take me as a guy that like really loves the game for real. So like you need some guys in there that can kind of bring that out of him. Brandon Miller loved the game.
He's nice at hooping.
Like the years where they had him and Terry Rozier and Miles Bridges, and Terry Rozier and Miles Bridges are making rap songs on the side, making music videos on the side. Like, bro, them dudes is out here doing GTA side missions while playing basketball.
Yeah.
2K My Career, going in the studio with Boz and J. Cole. Like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah. So ultimately, I like what the Hornets is doing this summer. Last trade, well, the biggest one that I think like a contender made was Nugget. It came out of nowhere, to be honest. Nuggets trade Michael Porter Jr. And a 2032 first, which is ridiculous, for Cam Johnson. They then signed Bruce Brown to a vet min. They trade for Jonas Valanciunas, who may or may not be going to the Euro League, but whatever. It was a 1-for-1 for Dario Saric anyway. And then they signed Tim Hardaway Jr. So like the Nuggets been moving. They've been making moves.
Listen, man. If Valanciunas, I think they would find an alternate option if he decided to go to Europe. But if Valanciunas comes over and all the moves they made flesh out, they are my pick to potentially dethrone the Thunder in the West. I think even if you look on paper and you're like, they don't have, like, they got Jamal Murray, they got Aaron Gordon, but like all of their supporting pieces don't pop out at you on the ball. I mean, on the paper, brother. The Jokic effect is a real thing. Like,
Bruce Brown left Denver.
He made Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook had the best season of his, at least recently in his career.
Yeah.
And he was he was playing important minutes for them in playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
Had one of the best games of his career, at least in the last 5 years, in that game 7 against the Clippers. Like, listen, and it doesn't even, to me, it's like, well, Jamal Murray stay healthy. As long as Jamal Murray's not out for the season, as long as everybody's healthy come playoff time, I think they'll be fine. I'm cool with Jokic dragging us through the regular season. He's done that for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And he's going to average a triple-double while doing it. In terms of the trade itself, they had to make some type of move because I thought they either needed to trade. You seem weak. What happened?
Because I'm reading the doc and I just realized for Simone Fucker.
I don't know how to say his last name.
I mean, it's Fontecchio, but
yeah, I know how to say it. I don't know how to spell it.
I was just reading like, oh, what's the next thing we're gonna talk about? And I'm reading and it just says for Simone Fucker. That shit just had me weak for some reason. But continue.
The trade itself, I think they had to trade someone, and that it was either going to be Michael Porter or Aaron Gordon. And to me, Michael Porter is what you see is what you get. He's a very, very tough shot maker. He's a great shooter. Not the best shot creator. Honestly, I think he's an overrated shot creator. I think because people see him shooting over guys because he's 6'10", they believe like he can just do all of these things that he's not capable of. Just be real with you. Cam Johnson's a better shot creator than Michael Porter. Like Brooklyn asked him to do a lot more when he got there. And I've seen him do some playmaking. I've seen him just create off the dribble for himself. I think Cam Johnson he's a better defender. I think he's a more consistent shooter, like game to game.
A better movement shooter. Like he's coming off screens. Boom, like I just think he's better at what the Nuggets need.
He's cheaper. Yeah, no, I do. I think ultimately he's a better player. He fits better in that role. And then they have about the same production stat wise. So if your idea is we paying a guy a lot less money, about $17 million less, to do the exact same thing Michael Porter did offensively, in theory, and give us better defense and possibly guard the best wing. If Aaron Gordon's dealing with injury and he just can't guard the best wing on the team, Cam Johnson might be able to do that. He helped do it in Phoenix. It was him and Mikal Bridges taking on the best wing in the West. So I'm not mad at the trade.
I think 7 years from now. That's how I'm taking that deal every day.
So Michael Porter Jr. and a 7th grader for Cam Johnson. I'll take that. And then to bring back Bruce Brown, I was like, whoa. All right, like they're serious because Bruce Brown was phenomenal for them that 1 year. Bringing in Tim Hardaway, streaky shooter, but when that boy get hot, he get hot. Like I could definitely in the playoffs. I could see in the playoff like one game Tim Hardaway just have 30 because he did it in Dallas, bro. Like there was games in Dallas where he had like 27. And what's they traded for Valanciunas. I'm gonna, for the pod's sake, I'm gonna assume Valanciunas plays. Mm-hmm. If he plays, for Valanciunas to be your backup big, giving you 20 to 22 minutes a game over what was DeAndre Jordan or Zeke Najee.
Yeah.
That is such a better upgrade than he can rebound. He's got a nice little post game. He can step out and hit three. Not the greatest shooter, but he can hit it. I also assume that they're trying to bring back Russ. I don't know if they still have cap space to bring him back, but I think they do want him back. So if they find a way to get him back, I like what their bench does. I felt like last year they didn't have a lot of bench depth. They just had Russ and Peyton Watson coming off the bench, although their bench was garbage. So this is a big step up from whatever they were last year. I think we all felt like, damn, that might be their window closing when they lost to OKC. But shout out to the Nuggets for consolidating their assets. Like, you have a guy that's making $38 million a year, and the assets that you brought back in altogether are worth $38 million, and you got 4 extra players.
Yeah.
Kudos, brother. Kudos. I didn't even know Dario Saric played basketball. Yeah. So shout out to them. I forgot he was in the NBA, bro. He hasn't played since he was on the Warriors. I don't think he played a single minute last year. Granted, I didn't watch all the Nuggets games, but you get what I'm saying.
I think the Nuggets are definitely one of the biggest offseason winners. For sure. I love this trade for them. The last trade. I mean, do you want to talk about the Heat signing trade Duncan Robinson, or you don't got no thoughts?
Real quick.
Yeah,
No,
go for it. Go for
I
it.
have thoughts. I mean, it's great for Detroit. Like when he opted out of his ETO option, which is basically he could have opted in for his $20 million or opted out of the entire contract, which is what he ended up doing, or opting out of the option but taking about half of that salary, which was $10 million, which is what I thought he would do. But once he declined it, I was like, I don't think he's coming back. And I want to say, shout out to Duncan Robinson. Honestly, one of the greater stories like in franchise history. I think a lot of people forget he was an undrafted player. He was a D3 player at one point, ended up at Michigan. And I remember when he came into the league, like he was kind of ass. But he developed his way into being a really, really solid role player. And if I'm being honest, the greatest shooter in Heat history, statistically speaking. Like he has the most threes made, shooting at a high clip. And to be the way the Heat roster was constructed over the last 5-6 years, to be one of the only shooting threats on the floor at times, dudes chasing you off of DHOs and just you constantly having to move and being the best shooter, one of the best shooters in the league over that period. I tip my hat. He will be missed. Yeah, because we don't got nobody to really throw Bam lobs. He was like the only one. And I promise you, there's gonna be clips. There's gonna be clips of him making moves off the dribble, and everybody's gonna be shocked because nobody watched the Heat. And I get it. I didn't really want to watch them either. But Duncan Robinson is more than just like a spot up shooter. Like he can not cross somebody up, but if you run him off the 3-point line, he can put the ball on the floor and make a play for someone else. He's a decent defender. I think he gets shafted on calls. Like they're just like, hey, you're not moving your feet. Boop, foul. But I think for what Detroit needs, he's perfect. Like getting passes from Cade Cunningham, not having to be the guy that everybody's zeroing in on because he opens up the whole offense. Like Cade can be eaten for a whole half, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, Duncan Robinson. Great. Mm-hmm. Great signing for him. And he got his money. I think he's making about $16 million a year. It's not fully guaranteed the last year, but yeah, gonna miss you. They used to call him the Dunkyard Dog. We're gonna miss my boy.
There you go.
He was a solid player. Simone Fontecchio, Liz, I don't really know what I don't know. I don't know what we're doing.
Hey, Spo gonna make it work. No,
I thought he not, bro. I don't know how many times I don't know how many times you can give a coach a dish of shit and expect him to come out with diamonds. Like come on, man. It's enough is enough. I think the Heat are in between pick and a direction. Like I said earlier, they are looking to trade Andrew Wiggins, and I think that is the right move. They're asking for a first-round pick, which I also think is the right move. Like stand firm on your asking price, because I think eventually somebody's going to give you a first-round pick for Andrew Wiggins. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Maybe us.
A playoff team's going to get desperate, and he's going to be available. And I think they want to zero in. They're saying they want to zero in on their younger players, which is why I think they let Duncan Robinson walk. He is 32 years old. So we'll see. I think we don't want to say it, but we're trying to be ass so that we can get a good pick, because we have our pick next year. So, if Tyler or Bam go down, we're just magically ass. We get a top 10 pick. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Next year is going to be a disaster, bro. I'm ready for it. Maybe is what it is.
AJ Devanta. Maybe you'll luck into get some Maverick shit. You'll get the first pick. You'll get Devanta, maybe.
No, but I think we'll have the odds. I think we'll be like 11, 12 seed in the East, bro. Like we're not
okay.
We are not a serious contender. We've been a playing merchant for the last 3 years.
Yeah, someone needs to tell y'all just lose the playing. Y'all turn up in them playing games, boy.
Listen, man, that 2023 playoff run, I would never trade anything for it again. But that was probably the worst thing that ever happened to the organization, because they thought They thought that Caleb Martin was the Scottie Pippen. They thought Gabe Vincent was Gary Payton. They thought Max Strus was Klay Thompson. Yeah, and granted, Max Strus has gone on and he's been really good for the Cavs. Like, he's done exactly what they need him to do. Gabe Vincent,
Gabe Vincent, no. Come on.
What's crazy is if he said he wanted to come back to Miami, I'd take him because I feel like he just his home.
I love him to come back to Miami. You take him back, you can take Hachi-san, and we'll take Wiggins, and it'll be perfect.
Nah, I don't want Gabe in the trade. Can sign that motherfucker for a bet min.
I think he's a free agent next year.
Remember when y'all signed Kendrick Nunn?
And now he's a Euro League MVP.
He's cooking.
No, we always sign y'all trash players, boy. We signed someone else too. I can't remember who it was, but yeah.
The trade itself good for the Pistons. I kind of wish we had gotten a second round pick attached to it, just for me to feel a little bit better about it. I just feel like the core that we had from 2020, we kind of got nothing for it. Like, we got in totality, like all the guys that we traded away, all these guys that we developed. Andrew Wiggins, my boy JK, that's what I'm gonna call him, Jakashionis or KJ, and a couple second round picks. And that's what happens when you hold on to your assets too long. I think they're finally learning that. It's a little too late, but hey, better late than never. Learn from your mistakes, and don't hold on to your assets too long until niggas say, hey, we don't want that. He's ass.
Yeah. That's all the trades. Looking at the extensions.
We got one more.
You want to talk about Pat Connaughton?
No. Oh, I moved it down. My fault.
What'd you move down?
The Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the Hawks.
Oh, the sign and trade, right? Or did he? It was a sign and trade.
It was a sign and trade.
Yeah, it was a sign and trade. Actually, the Hawks made some good ass moves. I like the Hawks moves. They signed Luke Kennard. They got Noah. Mm-hmm. They signed someone else. I can't remember.
KP.
But they signed traded for KP. They traded for KP. I like the Hawks, yo. I like the Hawks. I respect them being like, this East is kind of ass.
We can do something. Yeah, we can do something.
Like,
I still think their ceiling is dependent on KP's health. Like, if KP's not playing, I think they are a much worse team than they are if he's healthy. Mm-hmm. Also, I think Jalen Johnson is the X factor in all of this because he is a pretty dynamic wing. Like, I think he's a two-way wing. His 3-point shot can be better, but I like what he gives them. He gives them defense, athleticism. He does a lot of little things. He rebounds really well for his size. He's only 6'8", 6'9", but he's a really good rebounder. I love Big Onyeka. He's solid. Mm-hmm. He's improved his 3-point shot. And to, like, give this trust into Trae Young, where I said at one point, like, I don't think Trae Young could be the best player on a championship team. But honestly, he can, because the new NBA, you don't have to be a super. I don't think he's a superstar. And I think Trae Young is not that far off from Halliburton. They are the same archetype of player, I would say. Like, Halliburton's his game's a lot different because he's taller, but Trae Young's one of the best shooting, playmaking guards in the league.
Yeah.
And he can, granted, we've never seen him on a team where he can spread the ball around to the point where he doesn't have to take 24, 25 shots a game, 22 shots a game. Like, I would love to see a Hawks team where Trae Young can average. I mean, he averaged like 11 assists last year, but shit, can he average 13 for like prime Chris Paul type, Steve Nash type assist numbers? I think he could do it if the Hawks are a well-oiled machine.
The best player he's ever played with is who? Prime DeJounte Murray? Like what? Jalen Johnson, I guess. Like, if we think he takes his leap next year, but like currently, prime DeJounte Murray, the best player he's ever played with. That's crazy. That's crazy. I love what the Hawks did. They fleeced the Pelicans in the draft, got their unprotected 2026 first or the Bucks first, and they just waived their second best player. So, like, regardless, the Hawks fleeced somebody and they got better as a team. Like, theoretically, like, the Hawks could be a second round exit next year. Let's just say they made the Eastern Conference Finals and then got a top 5 pick in the draft. Like, that could realistically happen for the Hawks next year. So I think they had
there is no risk in going all out.
No. I think they had a good offseason. And I like that they brought in Gilgeous-Alexander Walker.
Great signing. I actually wanted him on Miami, but I don't think he wanted to be there for real, which is fine. I get it. Nobody wants to play for us, man. It's
tough. It's tough. We already talked to the Jaren Jackson extension. Julius Randle got a 3-year, $100 million deal. I do not blame the Wolves for it because you've lost Gilgeous-Alexander Walker and you were just in the Western Conference Finals. So, like, this team ain't bad. You were 4 wins away from the finals. The team is not horrible. So I understand extending Julius Randle, especially after the playoff run that he had. He was easily their second best player in that playoff run. Some games their best player. So I do not blame you giving him $100 million. And then the deal that everyone wants to talk about, the SGA 4 years, $240 million. He's making a ridiculous amount of money. He's the highest paid player in NBA history per year. He makes $71 million per year. That's his average. And in 2030, he will be making $78 million.
Not only is he the highest paid player in the NBA, he's the highest paid player in American sports.
That's crazy.
Like he makes more money than Juan Soto, Ohtani, Judge, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. I said Dak Prescott because I know Dak Prescott has a $60 million contract. The best athlete you could think of in any American sport, he makes more than that. So, and you could argue he's the best athlete in his sport. So,
yeah.
Hey, like, he's earned it, and this is the time to give it to him. Like, you give it to him fresh off the MVP, fresh off the first chip.
He just accomplished everything you would want him to. Like, exactly. It makes sense. Like,
all-time great season. I have no arguments against it. You are building a championship core, and trying to keep it sustainable. If there's one dude that's gonna make $70 million in Shea, that's cool. If there's another guy that I would argue the only other guy, or maybe other two, is Jokic, Giannis, maybe Luka.
Yeah,
depending on Luka's health. And Wemby, eventually.
Yeah.
Wemby might make 80, brother.
Yeah, he's gonna make a ridiculous amount. Just to go through, I want to talk about my Lakers, and so we signed DeAndre Ayton. And we signed Jake LaRavia, and we lost DFS. So DFS goes to the Rockets on a 4-year, $53 million deal. I think the Rockets are absolutely fucking loaded. I think the Hornets, not the Hornets, the Nuggets and the Thunder are the 3 best teams in the West pretty easily. In my opinion, the Rockets are super deep. They have Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, KD, Alperen Sengun, Reed Shepard, DFS, Jabari Smith, Steven Adams, Clint Capella, Cam Whitmore. Like, they re-signed Jeff Green. Like, they have a very good team. I think I understand letting DFS walk. He was easily our best role player. Like, easily our best role player. To the point where, like, we lacked so much depth last year that in a must-win playoff game, we played our starters the entire second half. Didn't make a single sub. Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
That was that game.
That was game 4. I think that was game 4. And it was...
Didn't they do it back-to-back games?
No.
Well, maybe they couldn't do it because Luka got, or somebody got hurt. I don't know if it was Luka or Braun.
We did it one game, and then he got a whole bunch of shit for it, and we didn't do it the next game. And we put in Gabe Vincent. We just didn't play Jackson Hayes at all. We played no big that last game.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. And so we just re-signed Jackson Hayes as well. But we ended up I understand letting DFS walk because he was so ultimately, apparently, like, I had tweeted something that went like pretty viral. I didn't end up saying it. I just recorded it that Rob Pelinka was like shitting on him to other GMs, saying that his ankle is cooked after surgery to like lower his value. DFS was like, I don't give a fuck what you offer me. I'm not coming back here. He ended up walking. He's Luka's best friend on the team, so that's a tough look, I'll be honest. But regardless, I understand not re-signing him because he is 32 years old, and the Rockets gave him a 4-year deal with a player option in year 4 and a trade kicker. So, like, they really wanted him. I understand not doing that as a Laker GM because he'll be 36 at the end of that deal. So I'm cool letting him walk. We then got access to the full MLE. We used that to sign Jake LaRavia, who I'm cool with. Hopefully he outplays his contract. Should be like a 3-and-D guy for us. He has the same agent as Austin Reeves, and we finna have to have contract negotiations with Austin Reeves. So I'm sure that played into it. Like, yo, break me up a little bit, some of that. So we got Jake LaRavia. I'm happy with it. Hopefully he plays well for us. The big signing though is Deandre Ayton. Ended up signing him to like an $8 million deal after 2 years, $8 million player option after the first year. The Blazers bought him out because they have a fuck ton of bigs, and I'm cool. I'm actually ecstatic, honestly. People,
what is his what did he like? What is his deal? Because that hasn't been confirmed. Like what his actual. I'm actually going to Sport Track and see what they say.
I think it's 2 years, 16 mil.
Yeah, because Sean did not say. He said he was getting some money from the Lakers, and so like basically splitting salary between the Lakers and the Trailblazers.
From my understanding,
it says the Blazers, 2 years, 16 and a half, basically, or a little bit over 16 and a half.
Yeah, the Blazers bought him out, and then he left 10 mil on the table with them, took 8 mil with us, so he ends up leaving like 2 mil per year on the table, whatever. Overall, though, I think he was the best center we could have possibly gotten. And people are like, Deandre Ayton sucks. Yeah. Like, you don't understand. Like, we were starting. I just said we went a full game, a must-win game without playing a center. Like, that's LeBron how bad it was. Exactly. LeBron. Like, a 40-year-old was playing center against Rudy Gobert. Like, come on. Like,
Rudy Gobert was out there looking like prime Moses Malone, bro. Like
prime Shaq, Hakeem, Kareem, like everyone. He was just doing it. Like, damn. So like,
I think the stat line he put up was like the first since Wilt too. Like it was
20
nuts.
And 20, some crazy game on us, bro. And like, is DeAndre Ayton Nikola Jokic? Is he Joel Embiid? Is he fucking Cat? No, but he's better than Jackson Hayes, and that's all that I am asking for. Like, for $8 million, I'm gladly taking DeAndre Ayton. Like, if he had a 20-20 game for the Blazers last year, former number 1 overall pick. Like, the motor issues are real. I wouldn't want to fucking play for the 20-win Blazers either. I don't blame him, but like,
I mean, he had motor issues in Phoenix too.
He did, and so I don't want to give him bail, but like, I would hope that playing with Luka and LeBron in the biggest market in basketball, you understand what's on the line. Like, you play horribly here. You play horribly here. It's cooked. You're a veteran player for the rest of your career.
You know, man. But hey, fuck around and find out. I'll tell you that.
You could revitalize your career here, bro. You could win a chip with Bron and Luka and be our center of the future, brother. Or you could flame out. Regardless, I like that we took the chance on it. I think we are noticeably better than we were at the start of free agency, and I'm happy with that. I would like us to trade for a 3-and-D wing, Herb Jones, Andrew Wiggins, DeAndre Hunter, whoever it may be. We need some sort of defensive-minded wing.
I don't think y'all get Herb, but y'all could get Wiggins.
I think we get Wiggins too. So
I think y'all probably end up with Wiggins. It doesn't seem like anybody else really wants Wiggins. And y'all have a first, and we want a first. I just think we just probably gonna have to understand that we're not getting Rui and Dalton Connect
and a first. Yeah, wait, that's OD.
I mean, I would take Rui and Connect. Like, even if we didn't get a first, I'd take Rui and Connect.
I would do Rui and Connect.
I would prefer.
Dalton is good. Like, he's a good player.
He's our best shooter.
Yeah,
why not? And Connect is what, 25?
Yeah, I think he's 25. he gonna play in the summer league, so you'll see him on what's today? We play on the 5th.
Play next week.
So we'll play him on Saturday. Yeah, we play on Saturday. Yeah.
Summer league is Saturday.
Well, you know how that
California league.
Yeah, that shit is on Saturday. The actual summer league is like a week. He is playing. He said he's gonna play.
We win that shit every year.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
We start, and then in the real summer league, we play like Cooper Flag and shit. They're like Bronny versus Cooper Flag. Come on, what are we doing?
Is Bronny playing the California games, or is he only playing the big ones?
No, he's playing the California games. Yeah. So
I'm rooting for Bronny, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, it'll be good. But yeah, the only other signing I was pressed to talk about was the Mavericks signing D'Angelo Russell. 2-year, $13 million deal. I could ramble about it forever, but I'm curious on your thoughts as a non-biased fan. What are your thoughts on the D'Lo Mavs signing?
It's nice. Like I didn't know what kind of money he was gonna get. Honestly, I didn't know how he was valued, but for the Mavs specifically, I think is really cool until Kyrie comes back. And then when Kyrie comes back, he's a guard off the bench that's still giving you 20 to 22 minutes. Gives you some playmaking, gives you shooting with a higher upside in terms of getting hot. Like we've seen D'Lo get hot at times, and we've seen him when he's locked in. I think he's gonna struggle a little bit though, like in that starting role. I just don't think he's a starter in the league anymore. But you are playing. You have AD again. You got Cooper Flag, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively. So their team is pretty fleshed out for the most part. I think they just gotta figure out that point guard spot until Kyrie gets back. And I like them. I like how they look next year. I could see them being a top 5 seed next year. That also depends on how good Cooper Flag plays. But I'm high on Cooper Flag. I think he's a really good player. I think he's plug and play wing 2-way guy. And him with Anthony Davis, I love that for him. He's a willing playmaker, a nice shot creator. His shot needs some work, but overall, like Cooper Flag, there was a reason why he was the number 1 pick. And I think the Mavs probably thought, well, if we're going to find our Kyrie replacement per se, because they also lost Dinwiddie, so they kind of needed a point guard. They probably felt like they were going to lose him. Dante Exum was not getting the job done. So you needed somebody that can at least be taken seriously as the lead playmaker, the lead guard for 30 to 35 games, maybe 40 games. I like it, and but I like it more for when Kyrie returns. Like I like what the Mavs are doing. I like that they are embracing their young talent, but also like building around AD and Kyrie. Got 2 guys that are not the most reliable, but when healthy, are really, really good, really, really dynamic, all NBA level type players.
Yeah, I really like it for the Mavs. I think that D'Lo as a starter is a little bit iffy, but I think that he's proven that he can be a starting point guard on a playoff team. And so until he can tread water until Kyrie comes back around March, April, whatever. And then he'll go to that bench role, 25 minutes a game. And he's played with Max Christie, he's played with AD. Him and Klay Thompson were technically on the same team, but didn't really play too much together. But he has chemistry with the Mavs' best player, period. And so I think that that'll go into things. I think that just they're a deep team. D'Lo, Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Max Christie, Najee Marshall, Jaden Hardy, Cooper Flag, PJ Washington, AD, Caleb Martin, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford. They have a lot of good basketball players. So I think that they're probably a top 5 seed in the West next year if they can all stay healthy. That's always the thing. We don't know what Cooper Flag's going to be. He could come out and just be this 20 point per game, whatever. Maybe. I highly doubt that though. But I think he's going to be solid on both ends of the floor. And yeah, bro, I think they're a really good team, and I love the D'Lo signing for them. And yeah, that was. I think we covered pretty much all the.
I do want to talk about 2 more.
Yeah, go for it.
That I have on here. The first one is Brook Lopez to the Clippers. I think it's I'm torn because the way Brook Lopez looked in the playoffs, I was like, brother, you might need to
be
retire.
time to be a family man.
Yeah, might be time to hang it up. But for $9 million a year to be a backup center, and offer floor stretching and rim protection on a team that, honestly, like when Zubac's not on the floor, I can't remember who their backup center was last year, but I think like sometimes it was Ben Simmons. So like, and that's not a knock on Ben Simmons, I promise. But like Brook Lopez is a 7-foot rim protector. Even though he's 38, 39 years old, he still offers some value. I think he'll be okay for them, like good enough. But then again, like, the last thing I saw from him I did not like. So torn on that one. How do you feel about that?
I like it for them. I think like if the goal was to get like faster or like younger, run a little bit more, he does not help you with that. But like pulling Zubac out to then like have Brook Lopez come in and still Zubac was one of the best rim protecting bigs in the NBA. So like to pull him out, let him sit a little bit and then bring Brook Lopez in, like that's a tough look on defense for opposing offenses. Like you're never getting a break. Like you're never getting a moment of like, okay, cool. Zubac is out. Let's get to the basket because you're still running into Brook Lopez. And I guess theoretically you could play them together because he kind of stretches the floor, but like I don't think that they're gonna do a lot of that. But regardless, I like the move for the Clippers. You need a backup big. Brook Lopez is obviously willing to take a little bit of a back seat, and you don't spend all too much on him. 2 years, 18 mil. I know the Lakers had offered him, but he ended up going with the Clippers. So I like the move for them overall. Like I think it's a low risk. I would also say I don't want to say like super high reward, but like he fills a hole for them. Like he fills a slot.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think he's one of those veterans where like his IQ is high enough to where he, even if he's not scoring, like his presence is more than enough a lot of the times. He's got to move them feet, big dog. Just got to move them feet.
Yeah.
Play and drop. I got two more. Let's see. The Magic signing Tyus Jones as their backup.
I said this 2 years ago. They should have done this.
For 1 year. Yeah, no, they should have been done this. I love it. I love it. They need a true facilitating point guard. Jalen Suggs is cool. You don't know how many games Jalen Suggs is going to give you. Yeah. He's coming off a season where I think he played about 32 games. You lose Cole Anthony, who not really a point guard to me, more of a combo guard, and a scoring guard at that. So to bring in a guy who's had in the past one of the best turnover to assist to turnover ratios in the league.
He's played with Desmond Bain before.
He's exactly playing with Desmond Bain. He's been in a starting role when Ja was out. Like he knows how to step up when needed. I think Phoenix was just a bad fit, bad culture. Like they apparently had some locker room issues. Mike Budenholzer was trying to figure out the starting lineup essentially the entire year. Like just a nasty, messy situation. So for the Magic, who are just looking for a veteran point guard to give them some energy off the bench. And honestly, there's probably some spots where he can, like if Suggs don't have it one night, maybe he can close with them. Like he can be the point guard to close with them. Like he's not a terrible defender. He's a great shooter for what he offers. Like I don't think there's anything really wrong with him as a player. So I'm excited to see what he does for the Magic. The last one, you don't even have to talk about this one because this was like my childhood coming out, or like maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. But I don't know if you said you didn't know who he was, but the Suns signed Nigel Hayes.
Oh yeah,
out of the Euro League.
Yeah.
When it popped up, I was like, because it's not, his name is now Nigel Hayes Davis. But he was Nigel Hayes all throughout his college years and when he got drafted. And I was like, I know that's not who I think it is. So I go look and I see his face. I'm like, yo, that's indeed like the Nigel Hayes that I thought it was. So he hasn't played. Well, I got to look up because these are his college stats. But I don't think he's played in the NBA in like 7 years. But he got drafted out of Wisconsin. He was in college, like all Big Ten, all 20 this, like Big Ten freshman, all region. Like he was a solid player. Ended up getting drafted in the first round. Didn't really pan out in the league. Then goes overseas, plays in the Euro League, wins the championship for whatever the league is called. I don't know. They got a few leagues. I don't know which one it is, but wins the Finals MVP for the Euro League championship, and then is averaging like 18 points a game. The Suns like what they see. They sign him. I just want to say congratulations to that man, because it's tough when you get pushed out of the league to make it back. We don't usually see that. Like I think about guys like first one that comes to mind, random, but like a Scal Labissiere or like
Jaleel Okafor.
Jaleel Okafor is another one. I'm trying to think. He was at Duke. Oh my goodness. Harry Giles.
What happened to Mario Hezonja?
I don't know. He's probably playing overseas. But it was like there was this archetype of like tall, lengthy bigs. I get like they were like power forwards, but it was a weird era because the game was transitioning into like everybody being able to shoot, and you're coming off of an era where the mid range was emphasized. So a lot of these guys just weren't fit for the current league, and they got kicked out and go overseas. So I'm just interested to see what he does. I'm glad he's back in the league. It's always good to see people that leave and come back. And I loved him in college. Like he played at Wisconsin for 4 years. They were in the tournament. I believe he was on that team that played Duke in the chip game. Yes, he was. So I mean, he's I don't know what he's going to be in the NBA. I'm just happy that he's back in the league because when you're a first round pick and you just don't pan out, it's just tough. You got to be called a bust the rest of your life. Like I would love to see him produce and be a nice little role player for somebody.
How old is he?
Oh, let's find out.
Nigel Hayes.
I want to say he's 28, 29.
He's 30.
29. Okay. Yeah.
30. I mean, hey, cool. He's younger
but
than...
it's like, so what's his name? Gershon Yabusele comes, a guy who last year had a great Olympics, gets signed by Philly, and now he's on the Knicks on a 2-year deal. So, like, if the Suns play him and they feel like, he can give them something, just some production off the bench, and another team is like, hey, we could use that. Like, we're trying to make a championship push. Maybe he has like a Yabusele type of career arc. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. That's why I brought it up. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That would be dope. I don't know him, but I'm glad that you know him. So shout out, because our friend asked us, like, you know this guy? And I was like, not a chance. And
me and Daniel were like, oh shit, because that was like they're in those like mid 2000s college days where all the Final Four teams were nuts. Like that Wisconsin team was really good. They had Frank Kaminsky and Nigel Hayes. They just ran into him.
Can't wait till I have my team eventually has to play him, man. He hits a game winner or something, so I can curse his name. But
he's gonna cook us. He's gonna cook us.
Yeah, he's gonna cook everybody.
Simone Fontecchio had the two best games of his career versus us. So
yeah.
Hey, maybe we'll sign him.
Everybody love to play their best game when they come to LA, so we'll see. But yeah. That'll do it for this episode of the Run It Up Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed our little NBA offseason rundown. Make sure you subscribe to Run It Up Podcast everywhere podcasts are found, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen. Leave a 5-star rating and review. You can find us on Twitter at Run It Up Pod, TikTok at the Run It Up Podcast. You can find me at Najee _, Jalaal at JSandy45 _ Songs of the week and everything will be in the description. I hope you guys have a litty day, a litty night, a litty life. And just like we do in every episode of this podcast, make sure y'all go Run It Up.